nerdy video. As you can see by the title, it is time for a Lunar Guard Adventures League. Sorry, pardon me. An Adventures League story. Now, I had a really interesting game yesterday at Adventures League, and I'm sorry I missed out on some of my other notes. I could not find this, and I could not, so I couldn't take notes at the league, and then I was just like, oh god, no. But anyway, here we go. This adventure is called The Outlaws of the Iron Root. Mortos, which again focuses my character, has met some familiar faces in this. It started off with us being in Flam. We were in the city square. We were all buying different things, like, all just doing some stuff. When an angry mob started complaining about why wasn't the lord of the town doing something about this bandit, who was in fact an Blackfist member. Remember that, folks. The Blackfists are the mercenary group that acts as the police in Flam. So people were, rightly annoyed because caravan routes were being attacked constantly, and some people decided to attack a merchant who managed to have a lot of his stuff. My character, however, stayed back and enjoyed the sight. I was watching through the eyes of my familiar, but then I noticed that a few familiar faces. One, Richard Everhard, the fifth. A human fighter. I also noticed Tor Travak, Dan Kill, a hill dwarf cleric, life domain, and then one Acheron Knox, a familiar tiefling that he just recently did a mission with, and one Urist Harkfellow, a hill dwarf, who he also did a job with. And I believe he also travelled sometime with Tignir Darkshine, a wood elf ranger. So he saw some familiar faces, and he was thrilled. He was like, my allies, what brings you here? But then the townspeople attacked. Acheron decided to walk up, and he just cast Burning Hands, killing, I think, 2 to 3 of the would-be mob. The rest of them then quickly dispersed, saying like, oh shit, that guy just killed us. Yeah, we're cool. So yeah, that fight was quickly drawn out. Now, mind you, Acheron was about to be arrested by the Blackfist, but then the merchant stepped in and bribed him. It's fairly common knowledge that the Blackfists are corrupt. Now, sorry, excuse me here. It's really sweaty under this mask, which is why for the past few videos I actually haven't really been making use of it. But I was like, I should really get back into using it because it's a really cool thing that I could do for my channel, But anyway. So, the merchant asks us, informs us of, hey, how about you guys go collect the bounty on this bandit leader? One, Shaddad Kradek? Yeah, Kradek. And the merchant also informs us that the merchant companies are getting together and are offering also an additional 75 gold on top of the 100 gold that the Blackfists are offering, and that's per head of the leaders of the 2 main bandit groups that are terrorizing the caravan routes. So the party were like, yeah, sure, that's over 200 gold bounty, and it's alive or dead, so yeah, we're totally doing this. Now, the merchant did suggest that we talk to a Sandrek, who was supposed to be hanged, but he escaped. He was supposed to be hanged by the Blackfist, but he managed to escape. and a Ratian, who was a prisoner inside of this prison that was just outside of Flan. Now it's an in-pen prison. Technically it's not associated with the Black Fist, but it is implied that the Black Fist have a lot of work businesses with them. So yeah, we agree. We're like, oh yeah, let's check out the prison. We decide not to go after to talk to this other NPC, but we decided to go talk to the one that's actually been captured, so we don't have to track him down. We arrive at the prison, and we decided to let Urist. Well, my character was around. Oh, by the way, I should mention this. Urist Harkfellow has an elephant. Not screwing with you. He bought an elephant at level 2. I'm just going to pause for a little bit to let that sink in. Okay. Now, at first I was like, no, that can't be right. How did he get an elephant? It was like, it's part. Then it was part of the player's handbook, which means it's available in Adventurers League. Because remember, in Adventurers League, you have to pick one, the player's handbook plus one additional book for when you're leveling and such. And creating your character. I chose Xanatar's Guide to Everything because it has so much magic that so many spells that I can make use of. But regardless. But we decided to let Acheron deal with the gatekeeper of the prison. He seems to be a dwarf or a gnome or a halfling. Someone's short because we did hear a step ladder being set up. And things are going somewhat well. We were trying to negotiate getting in to talk to him. He was like, okay, 10 gold pieces each, and then you can go talk to him. So yeah, we were all like a lot of us were like, oh yeah, that's very reasonable. But Acheron was going to try and make it lower. But before he can get another word in, Eurus was not happy by being told not only can he not go in, but it will cost him 10 gold to get in. So, he rams the gate with his elephant. Yes. Now, he's chaotic neutral. So, his character is very much associated with his independence. He does not like being told what to do. He does not like society very much. He prefers animals to humans. Which is what he even said himself. But yeah, he rams down the door. The door caves down, killing the poor guard that was behind it, and quickly crushing him. We then get dragged into a combat with the prison guards and the warden. So, at this point, me and it was Travak. Me and Travak are... Now, my character's alignment is lawful evil. And my background is a spy. I spy for the Zentarum. My character's hoping to one day to gather enough intel to start opening up maybe his own business, be an information broker. But at the moment, he is a spy working for the Zentarum. So, my character's like, yeah, if any of these guys live, I can afford to get my face passed on wanted posters, so I'm out. I'm done. Now, whereas Travak did not want to fight because he's like, he is neutral good, and this is not. Yeah, he cannot condone this action. So he's like, okay, you guys do what you want, but I'm not partaking in this. So we both actually just left while the rest of the party is fighting these guards. Now, the fight was looking badly until the guards started coming out of the keep. Now, they would have gotten a bit more time to attack the players on the elephant if they stayed inside, but I feel like the DM was being generous by having them, obviously come out, which is a bad move considering there's a big, massive elephant there. So, the party ensues. A lot of the fight is going very well in some places. Eurist is using spells like Spike Growth, and he's just doing shit. At one point, however, during the fight, Richard gets an idea. He looks to the elephant, looks at the group enemies, looks at the elephant, looks at the group of enemies. He then looks to Eurist and says, "Throw me." So the elephant picks up Richard. Richard dropped his shield. He took out his glaive. The elephant picks up Richard and throws him like a dart. He goes flying through the air. This manages to exactly kill a person, but he manages to damage someone. So now he's in the thick of it. Now he got some damage from the spike road, but yeah, he's just like, that was fucking brilliant. Now, so that everyone's enjoying themselves. I'm enjoying myself. Even me and the life cleric are enjoying ourselves, despite not being able to take part because we're off the map. But we're just sitting back like, this is actually quite fun. It's not in our characters to join them, but it's quite entertaining to watch and listen. So then on the next turn, the elephant then picks up a shield, and then basically Iron Man's it, and he actually kills a man, but the shield gets embedded into the man, and he falls over after the elephant throws it. Now the party's going well. Now we're not the only people who are not participating in the fight. Our halfling rogue gambler decided to not partake in the fight. He kept walking off to the side of the thing, and he started scaling the wall. He goes to discreetly sneak into the prison to talk to the person that we came here to speak to, and he does so. He gets the information. He's talking to Ratty, and he learns everything that he needs to know. But yeah, the fight eventually ends with the party badly using up a lot of their resources. They're like, yeah, we need a short rest. And a lot of them are like, I would rather a long one, but yeah. So, we all, me and our cleric begin heading back as the party tries to take a short rest. They don't, however, get a short rest because they then see that the tower of part of the prison is burning. There's smoke coming from the top. So they go into investigate. So a long rest does not happen. But me and our cleric are still trying to catch up. I try to use my raven to slow them down, but Eurus was like, no. Grabs the perch by the legs and he's there carrying it. But I just pocket dimensioned the raven. So, inside the prison, Gambler's heading down. The party is now heading in and up. Both sides come across a Minotaur, who is just going crazy with a torch, laughing as he sets everything on fire. So the party then fights. One party member nearly goes down during this, but manages to stay alive, and they quickly take care of the Minotaur. Action economy, all that type of stuff. We all then leave the prison, with leaving a lot of the prisoners to possibly burn to death. Yeah. There are no players with good alignments other than Travik, but he's pretty much in this camp of, yeah, I'll try and do good, but I'm not going to dictate what other people do. And these are prisoners, so obviously they did bad things. Now, we got information. We discovered that the Tiamat's Claw and the Grey Patriots are planning to join these are the two bandit groups. The Tiamat's Claw is a group led by a Dragonborn who believes she is the daughter of Tiamat, and she leads a bunch of kobolds, some of them being magically enhanced and mutated. Whereas the Great Patriots, we discovered that some of their hierarchy. For example, there's a berserker, someone basically who was like a Little John character. He's a giant. We know there's an elven archer who has an amazing shot, but she has one eye. But yeah, we learn that they're meeting up on an island to discuss not going to war with each other. They're gonna divide up the territories and leave each other alone. So it's a 14-hour trip, most of it on a dinghy. So we decide we'll head out, and for those of you that are on the dinghy, those of you that want a long rest, go ahead. And then because we have an elf, so an elf can only has to sleep for 4 hours. So once he gets his 4 hours, then the rest can easily then get a lot of their long rest. So we keep traveling along our day. We arrive at the area where the two bandit groups are meeting, and we discover that it's a beautiful place. It has a giant statue of a king holding a goblet, and there's waterfalls on either side of him. It's really you get a sense that it would have been a very beautiful tourist destination if it wasn't for the bandits. Now we decided to send my raven ahead of us to basically spy and get the lay of the land, which I successfully do. We find out that the two camps are actually split on either side of the statue. The kobolds are on the left side. The humans are on the human bandits are on the right. And I basically learned that there are several things. We decide to go about this stealthily. We're going to try and take out as many of the humans as we can, then disguise ourselves as them, and then attack the kobolds. Now, we all kept referring to this as Navy sealing this. I refer to it as us ghosting. But yeah, we basically decided to row up to a small cave that is an entrance. We know that because of my raven, we found out there were only 2 guards on a boat keeping an eye on this. So yeah, we're just there slowly rowing our dinghy in the mist as we approach the first ship and the guards. Urus decides to cast Pass Without a Trace on us, so that way we all get a +10. And apparently it affected the boat as well. We arrive and we stealthily climb up onto their ship, well, only one of us generally failing, but again, group check dynamics meant that we passed. We then quickly butcher those 2 guards, just quickly taking them out. Me using a 2nd level magic missile to target one of them. Our ranger quickly killed one of them because he's a monster slayer ranger, which means if someone's already injured, he gets to double his hunter's mark. Very powerful ability. But yeah, we managed to take them out quickly. We then donned cloaks and pulled off the hoods, basically impersonating Grey Cloak members. We then decided to head off, because again, this was supposed to be their escape route and the way of where they brought their supplies. So we started going up through the cave network. There's a spiral stair system, so we decided to go up it. We then spot 2 guards going around, and there's a rotation of, and they're playing a 3D chess game called Dragon Chess. It's basically they were, each time one of them would walk by, he would stop, look at the board, and do a move, and then move on. So they're playing chess. We decided to see if we can get them to fight by me using Mage Hand to move the chess pieces around to make it look like someone was cheating. But apparently these guys were mature. The guy just stops, looks at it, and he quickly resets the board to start over again. So clearly these guys were mature. So we decided to then we decided to basically try and sabotage as much as we can. So we took out those 2 watchmen, while our halfling gambler rogue then decided to wait in ambush at a zipline that was supposed to help. Because every 10 minutes a patrol would come down onto the zipline and continue the patrol. Go up, every 10 minutes. We decided to wait. Sadly, he cut the rope too soon, And we only managed to get one of the bandits on that patrol route to die by falling to his death. It was the elven rogue, sorry, the elven archer, did not fall. She then saw him, and as she went to blow her horn, luckily our rogue got a natural 20 on the shot, and it just broke the horn in two and cut across her mouth. Which was really cool. Like, we were all like, yeah! And then we then decided to head off to deal with the giants and the leader. So we're like, okay guys, let's move, let's go. We're trying to take out the big huge henchman first before we go after the boss. Try and weaken the boss fight. We find a giant, and he's not really a giant, he's just called Little Something, but he's a giant of a man. He's really tall and big. But he was told a prophecy involving his death, which will involve the hooting of an owl. So we decided to play that to our advantage. So my familiar takes the form of an owl and begins hooting, as Eurus then uses create bonfire on his tent. We then get into a huge fight with him. It turns out the leader's tent was not too far from his tent. So the leader comes out, and we have there's 8 of them at this point, and we're all like, come on guys, we got this. I summon my Shadow Blade, and I begin basically fighting like Thor by throwing my Shadow Blade and teleporting it back and then throwing it again. The rest of the party is just like, yeah. When the bandit leader comes out, on Eurus' turn, he decides to then just use spike growth to create a territory where they'll keep taking damage each time they move through it for every square, which actually kills a large amount of them. So in the end, it came down to the Grey Patriots leader and the giant and one other man, and we're just still tearing through them. I managed to get a kill on one of them. But yeah, we all managed to quickly take care of them. It's really epic. Even Richard, he got quickly killed the giant, and then he action surged and then started attacking the other guy. Didn't kill him, but it was still epic. It was it's like kill and then rush. But yeah, we managed to quickly take down the leader quickly enough. Then the archer then arrives, and she takes a pot shot at some of us. Does manage to do too much damage, but then our rogue gets a natural 20 again and kills her. But he hides behind Richard and basically shoots from between his legs. He's like, "Hey, over here!" Boom. And it was hilarious. So she goes down, and now at this point we all hear a horn. And some of us roll a history check, and some of us passed. Particularly, I think it was Richard. And it turns out that was an orc war horn. So we're just like, oh shit, is there an orc war coming? So we're all okay, we decided okay guys, let's not take any chances and leave, because if this is an orc horde, we're not going to be prepared for them. So we all just gather all the loot, because luckily the orc horde would have to go through the kobold camp and then get to here. So we were using the kobolds as a distraction so we can gather up all our shit. We managed to get a +1 longbow, which we decided to give to the rogue. So we gather all our shit. We get the head of the bandit leader, and we're all just like, oh god, like it. We then head back down the stairs and we get on our dinghy and we're just like, row your boat. But yeah, we managed to escape. We collect our bounty. The mission's a success, and it was a really good time. Now, final thoughts. This was a really cool adventure. I actually played this adventure once before, somewhat. We got to the bit where we had to deal with the 2 bandit camps, and we actually managed to kill the kobold camp leader in my other playthrough. Now, that was with a smaller group, and it was still a very good adventure. We all had a good time. However, we decided to go more of a diplomatic approach. We decided to sneak into the prison, and my character and someone else's character who used disguise self, and one person was able to throw their voice. we basically then impersonated the warden to try and get the prisoner out. So like we went on about it a completely different way. So this adventure is really good. It has some intrigue and it has some combat, definitely. Like I can imagine you intriguing it, like investigative style, all the way like we all the way up to when you talk to Rathian. But then the final act, which is the assault on the bandit camps, could be very combat heavy. Or you could attempt to, if you're very stealthy, you could attempt to like basically assassinate the two camp leaders and then try and collect their heads then. And then let the Orc Horde then decimate the rest of the organization. But it's a really good adventure. I would highly recommend it. Now, I have no idea what's going to happen with these. I'm trying to get back into, as I said on my channel update, I'm trying to get back into a regular schedule. But it seems that I don't know what's going to happen with Adventurers League, because this was the final session of this season. We decided that we're going to move on to the DMs have collectively decided that come September we're definitely going on to the new season that focuses on Mordek. The reason why we didn't do the current season, which involves Chult and Tomb of Annihilation, was because they felt like it's a bit. They were trying to introduce D&D to a lot more people, and they felt like that would be very jarring because of all the extra mechanics that are involved, like such as the death curse. So they decided, okay, we're going to do a new season starting in September. So I believe we're going to be doing filler seasons, and I will try and talk about them. But I don't know what's going to happen. If Adventures League gets shut down for a little bit till the new season gets set up, I'll be okay with that. I may not completely agree with it, but things happen. But either way, I'm really looking forward to playing more Adventures League, and I'm hoping to get back into these video schedules of talking about it. But yeah, it was a really good adventure. I would just also now like to say a big thank you to my players. Sorry, to the players that I teamed up with. Thank you, Richard Everhard, the 5th. Thank you, Travik Dankill. Thank you, Tiganair Darkshine. Thank you, Urist Harkfellow. Thank you, Acheron Knox. And thank you, Gambler. Just Gambler. Thank you all for making my adventure so goddamn interesting. Yeah, it was. Our characters may have butted heads, like for particularly Urist and Mortals may have butted heads, but again, folks, as a player, I really enjoy playing with you, and I hope to play with you again. And I hope you all decide to stick around with Tier 1, and I hope we all get to have some fun together in the new season set in Waterdeep. This is Wolf and Ninja signing out. May the Force be with you, and remember, especially if you have an elephant, roll initiative.